Think you know what way it's going to go?
Make your bet at Sports Interaction.
Whether it's World Cup, hockey, football, or basketball, Sports Interaction has you covered.
Bet pregame, live and play, or on one of our many prop bets.
Sports Interaction makes it easy to deposit, play, and cash out.
Join now and see all sports betting has to offer.
Want to bet? Head to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN.
That's sportinteraction.com/SDPN.
19 plus, please play responsibly.
She scores!
Take a moment to look up at the ceiling. You're about to bust through it.
SDPN, the PWHPA and Sports Interaction, Canada's sportsbook, presents hockey like you've never heard it before. The Knoxy and Kax Show with Liz Knox and Karell Emard.
Let's get it. Go.
Welcome back to Knoxy and Cox on SDPN. If you're tuning in on drop day, that means it's Friday and the PWHPA is in Pittsburgh this weekend. We have ticket information, arena location, and so much more at the end of this episode, so stick around. But before we get into that, I hate that I have to start another show on a serious note. But for me personally, between Jagger Joshua's experience with racism and the NCAA and the Club Q shooting this weekend, I wish it went without saying, but I feel the need to say it. So we here at SDPN and on the Knox and Cox Show stand against racism, homophobia, and transphobia. We believe that each of us deserves to walk through this world free of prejudice and hate. These are our friends, our family, and ourselves. And with that, we at the PWHPA continue to carry the responsibility of leaving this game better than how we found it. Not only for women, but for those who love the game that simply sometimes does not love them back. So we strive to bring our listeners joy by celebrating the athletes of the PWHPA and telling their stories, which we will do today. And finally, we want to thank you all for working with us to help change hockey culture. And since our objective is to bring joy, perhaps no one more fitting than our next guest. Yes. She radiates positivity and fun. You may know her from Battle of the Blades or The Amazing Race. She is a 3-time Olympic medalist, PWHPA member, and very soon to be mama. She's Natalie Spooner.
Woo! Thanks so much for having me, guys.
Welcome, Spooner.
Woohoo!
Spoods, it's been, I would like to say it's been a long time because you're like almost at full term, right?
We got like a week and a half left. So, I mean, hopefully he comes early, but if not, then, I mean, a week and a half.
We wait.
Hopefully not too late. Hopefully I'm not running out the door right now.
No, yeah. I mean,
that would be quite the episode.
Thank you for squeezing us in.
I did see Spoons like, what would have been like maybe a month or so ago, still skating, still very active if you follow her on social media, getting your workouts in. I was joking on this episode that you work out more pregnant than I do not. So why don't you give us a quick update what it's been like?
I mean, it's been good. Like, to be honest, on the ice is probably when I felt like the most normal and good. I think the last time I skated was 36 weeks and now I'm 38 and a bit. So just my last skate, I made sure to get into Toronto and skate with the PWHPA girls for a skills day. So it was just like so much fun to get back out with them. And I mean, it just felt really good to be out there and kind of somewhat normal. Workouts now for sure have changed. I'm more into like the ball bouncing and the yoga stretching and the like baby get moving and come out to this world. But yeah, no, it's been good.
And I can attest that Spoon still shoots the puck as hard as she did pre-pregnancy.
I was going to ask.
Still lit me up, so.
I was going to ask how it went for you.
Game in the summer, so maybe it helped my shot too. I don't know.
It's true. There's a motherly strength that happens. We saw Serena Williams, perfect example. So look out once Spoons is back on the ice. So before we get into kind of your hockey story, we did want to talk quickly about the Rivalry series, which I'm sure you watched. Mm-hmm. The Game 3 in Seattle had a record attendance, 14,551 people watched that game live at the arena. Yeah. Like, that is just incredible. Spoons, you've played in front of some big crowds. You know, walk us through kind of what that experience must have been like for those girls, or if you've talked to them.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Just to even see the crowd. So my brother actually lives in Seattle. So I had about 75 people there.
Oh my gosh, that's
Canada.
awesome.
Oh, that's sweet.
So no, I heard all from them, like just how amazing the atmosphere was and how good the game was. Obviously Canada didn't come out on the right end of it, but they said just to get that kind of crowd in the States, it was so good for women's hockey and just keeping to develop. And yeah, they said it was super cool. The rink too, they said was so nice.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, shout out to the Seattle and the Kraken, basically, and allowing this kind of visibility and promotion, not allowing it, but helping promoting it all, right? Because people saw it, people were aware of it, people knew that the games and the girls were coming in town. And this is why we were able to have like such a record breaking kind of fan base there. So yeah, whatever they did, we need to reproduce everywhere we, go moving forward for the Rivalry series.
Imagine
and more
that.
for the professional hockey.
Imagine marketing translates into
investing.
people. Yeah, that's what a crazy thought. But you're right, Kax. And I wish I had the name of like the organizing committee, because you can guarantee there's some strong female voices behind that. But they did an incredible job there in Seattle. We're so happy. And we saw Hillary Knight presented by USA Hockey with the golden stick for her record-breaking performance at the World Championships. Pretty cool accolade for somebody who's also leading the forefront of the PWHPA. So I want to give her a shout out. So Nat, let's get to you. Grew up in Scarborough, Ontario here, just down the street from my hometown. And I grew up playing against you on you were on the Durham West Lightning. I was on the Markham Silver Stars. Why don't you walk us through a little bit, your family, your like you said, your parents have been super supportive, and both your brothers. Talk us through what it was like growing up in Scarborough playing hockey.
Yeah. So my parents are from England and like actually knew nothing about hockey, which maybe helped me in the long run because they couldn't really like skate or tell me to do too much. But
they weren't crazy hockey parents.
They weren't. I mean, my dad was like a crazy like athlete kind of, I guess, like in a sense, like pushing yourself. Like he was a rugby player in England. So when they came over to Canada, he was like, hey, I'm not putting my kids in like contact sports. So my three older brothers all played soccer, but then like every kid that plays soccer in the summer, like just happened back then to play hockey in the winter. So like my brother was like, I want to keep playing with my friends. So we all just got into hockey in the winter, and we all just grew up playing hockey and soccer. And those were kind of the two sports. And we all ending up like liking hockey way better and playing hockey. Like my two brothers played through university. My other brother gave it up pretty early, but I just kind of followed them and got into hockey and loved it and stuck with it.
I think I saw on your Instagram that your parents looked through like a Canadian Tire catalog when you guys first started playing hockey, because like you say, they had no idea. Like there's so much equipment, and what do you have to get? How do you put it on? Is that a true story?
Yeah, it's really funny. So they still joke about it because my oldest brother, like they just went to Canadian Tire, but it was like the mannequin at the store. So they're like, we'll just take everything on the mannequin. So the first time my brother showed up, he didn't have like long johns or a jock because like you can't see that on the mannequin.
That's true. It wasn't on the mannequin.
And so then my parents were like, oh no, like it's going to be like freezing cold out there. Is it going to be okay? And then by the time I came along, like I think they had to learn a little bit more about Jills versus jocks. And I don't know if they knew that at first. But they eventually caught on. Like, I only played 1 year of boys hockey, and then I got into girls hockey. So by the time I was with the girls, I'm sure I had a Jill.
Let's hope for. I
was just stuffing the space with socks, but that's hilarious. Sorry, Kax. I thought you had something to say there.
No, I was going to say, I think it's like, you get the hand-me-downs usually, or you get that stuff. So you probably ended up with your brother's equipment. I ended up with my cousins and stuff like that. And it's always like you play with the biggest things or what you can get, and you're going out there and
colors. I think my team was all black, and I had like bright blue pants when I first joined my girls team. I was like, how could you let me go out there like this with a white helmet and blue pants, and Durham West wears all black?
I love it. You know what? You stood out. You stood out right from the pop. It may not have been skills just yet or whatever, but you stood out. So they said, hey, we like this one, the little white helmet here. We're going to keep her around.
Oh my
love
gosh. That's awesome. And then, so after Durham, you made the decision to go to the Ohio States. Maybe talk us through some of the other schools that were on the table, or what it was about OSU that kind of like stood out to you and drew you in there.
Okay, so my oldest brother actually played at Wisconsin.
Whoa.
So he was a
what a
Badger.
guess.
So my whole life, like I grew up with Bucky the Badger, like Barbie dolls, Bucky the Badger, like those things that you like hit and they like make noise and they're like little toys. So like every Christmas was something like Wisconsin that I would get while he was at school. So I thought like my whole life that I was going to go play at Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And so
This
I had
seems
like
to be
been
a
to
theme on our show.
Seriously. Wisco, Ohio. Like, this is like a
Wisco
big-
Cornell, Wisco somewhere else.
Yeah. Let's name another school in there. Come on.
Sorry,
my parents though were like, okay, well, you know, we've been to Wisconsin a bunch of times to like see, like we've seen it. Why don't we go visit like another big school that's like closer to home, just to like get like kind of like another point of view of like a big school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we went to visit Ohio State and I really liked it on my unofficial visit. And then, I kind of had booked my official visits. Wisconsin was not actually even on my official visit by that point. I don't think they were interested in me. So that was kind of off the table. So like my official visits, I went to BU, Ohio State, and Cornell.
Okay.
And I was supposed to go to Colgate, but I went on all my official visits with a broken jaw because I had like just broke my jaw. So I was like fully wired shut.
Jesus.
So I ended up canceling Colgate once I knew I wanted to go to Ohio State. But yeah, I went to Ohio State and I got to stay with like Tessa Bonham. And
I was going to ask, was Tessa in the picture? Because my official visit, I went to Ohio State and I stayed with Tessa Bonham. And I almost committed because of that. But like, yeah, she's a true performer.
She has such like a magnetic personality that like I feel like she could sell you the shoes that you're already wearing. It's just like,
100%.
You need this.
And she loves and like lives, you know, well, I mean, everyone that goes through their school love and breed their colors and everything. But yeah, it was like she was selling it. You were on campus and I can probably, you felt the same way, but everything that's there, it's a big school. Yes, it's different than Wisconsin, but the Ohio State, is amazing. And then you get in the city a little bit, like, Columbus is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you ended up in the city, but not on my official visit. I ended up like obviously going to the bars or restaurants and whatnot, and you get the vibe, like you get the school and a city kind of living area. So I don't know if
it's
that
like its
had
own
an impact.
city.
Yeah,
It's literally like its own little area, and you like don't need to go anywhere. It's amazing.
No,
because we used to.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, we used to play you guys in preseason. Like Laurier would go down for preseason games, and I remember we went there like one of the days the football team was playing, and literally like you could walk the streets and like nothing was open, and it literally was just mostly like handwritten notes being like, "Be back after the game." Like not, you know, the Ohio State versus whoever game. It's just like everyone knew that there was going to be nothing open until the game was done. So like really cool cultural experience. And I did want to ask you, because we talked about Tessa, so you play with her, and you also play with Laura Mack, who is now coaching Team Sonnet in the PWHPA.
Laura Mack was also on my official visit.
It was both of you there?
That's all you need.
Yeah, we got lost together.
Of course. Then you're like, hey, yeah, we're going here.
So you guys would have played all 4 years together then, is that correct? And like Macker just like a great, like soft hands, just a playmaker, natural playmaker, like just knows how to slow the game down. And that's not a chirp. That's like literally like change the pace of attack and just like create opportunities for offense. And you guys together were fantastic there, and U22. So maybe just talk, not that I haven't talked enough now about Mac, but talk about some of the line combinations you had, some of the girls you love playing with at OSU.
I mean, I was so lucky to get to play with Mac. I mean, her skill is like none other. Like, it's pretty crazy that if you just find an opening, like she's going to put the puck on your stick. And I think many of my goals were because of her. And I remember on the power play, like she would play the point and I would just go, you know, find a spot around the net and she would just hit me and it was just like deflected in. And I was like, oh, okay, well, if it's that easy, Macker, like I can do that more often. But no, I mean, like we didn't get to play together like all the time on like a regular line, but for sure on power plays and sometimes even on regular line, it kind of depended. But I mean, she was just so skilled and could literally like dangle anyone, but then also can score, also can like make the plays and make like unreal plays. She was one of the best players to ever play at Ohio State. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And now she's your coach, like
I know.
with Team Sonnet. It's crazy how the world works out sometimes.
Yeah.
She definitely knows your skill sets.
Hopefully
that's
she
a bonus
can like
for you.
teach me to kind of like slow it down a little more in her playmaking.
Do you need that? No, you use your speed. You just go like your game. I mean, no, Macker was like, and I think honestly, making the transition between playing to coaching, I always like to ask that, and then. You saw her as a teammate, now you saw her as a coach, or you had experience with her. Is she still the same with you, or like what's the? I do think there's like a little bit of a separation that happens usually. Like, hey, I'm not authority, but like I need to keep it. Yeah, I need to keep it professional, and then I'm teaching you things, and obviously. Everyone respects Mac, and I'm sure you knowing her and playing with her, you had like already that respect in there. But like, how was it when she first started coaching you? Like, was it giggling style, or was it like, hey, I'm listening to you, Mac, and I get you?
I mean, no, like I mean, it's been like 10 years since we played together, so we've both matured quite a lot since then. But there'll still be like random drills we'll do, and it'll be like, oh, remember doing this at Ohio State, or like like things like we did back in the day that But no, for sure. I mean, she's still like a really fun coach. But for sure, we've both matured a lot since back in the day.
Yeah. That's fair.
Laura Mack, the kids call her Mac and Cheese out of KW area. So a fun little fact about her. So then after, or I guess during, what year did you graduate in?
2012.
Okay. So then it was after graduation, you went to your first Olympics in Sochi. And then went to 3 consecutive Olympics from 2014 to most recently, obviously 2022. Maybe just talk us through some of those Olympic memories. Like, I feel like for people that know Spoons, like she's just so fun to be around, and especially traveling on a team, like entertainment just seems to naturally follow you. So I'm sure you have some great stories from these Olympics. Why don't you just talk us through a few of your fond memories?
Oh, I'm trying to think of some good ones. Well, like Sochi was my first Olympics, so I was for sure like way more shy, just kind of like coming on the scene. Like, I mean, I only joined, like I made the senior team finally in 2011. Well, I guess I had made it for a Four Nations Cup in 2007. And I sat on the bench the whole time. We had Mel Davidson as our coach, and we went into a shootout with the US. And I still remember this because it was like devastating. She chose me to shoot in the shootout after I had played the whole game. And I was like, oh my God. And I went in and I did like my move that I was like doing a lot back then, like forehand, backhand, forehand. And I made it right into Jessie Vetter, like fell like caught an edge and just fell. And then I didn't make the team again for 4 years. So it was quite devastating. I was like,
do we think she held it against you a little bit? I think so.
Yeah, maybe. My one like difference maker didn't make a difference.
Talk about pressure. Jeez. Way to ease the kid into it.
Frozen
But then,
to a
so I
shootout.
made it in 2011. Finally. And then, so then 2013 was like my first centralization, everything going through that. I was roommates with Wakefield, so we had a lot of fun. Definitely really stressful. Like that year we had like crazy ups and downs, and it was just craziness, like the amount of training we had, and then with our coach stepping down and like all of that. But I mean, getting into the Olympics, it was so cool just to like be there and to get to experience it all and to have my family there. And then the way we won that final game with the comeback. And after that, we actually got to like party at the rink, which was really fun. And I just partied in like my jersey and my Jill and my sandals like the whole night. I remember like my brothers were all there, and like they almost couldn't get out of the village by the time we were done partying because it was like, well, too early in the morning, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, then I remember going to McDonald's and Wick being like, get behind the counter and like serve us McDonald's. So I was like behind the counter in the village at McDonald's, like serving breakfast.
Would you like cheeseburgers?
Oh my God. And they were, I mean, obviously McDonald's was okay with this.
Oh, breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So they just told you, and you're
that's
like,
impressive.
yeah, sure, I'm going to hop over and
Yeah, I
and
don't
become
know
a-
if they understood what I was saying or what was going on, but I mean, it happened.
Did you get the visor, or were you just still in your
No.
jersey and jock?
No, yeah. I don't know if I had put clothes on by then. I can't remember. I mean, I must have if I left the rink, right? You would think. I don't know.
You would think you would.
Have any pictures?
Oh God!
Okay.
that-
Olympics. I'm trying to think what's good. What's good one? Pyeongchang. What did we do? Oh, we did lots of karaoke there.
Karaoke night.
Oh,
He's like Korean karaoke. They have like those rooms. So, I mean, afterwards I had no voice for like 4 days.
okay. This is a good time. So, what is your like go-to shut down the bar karaoke song?
Well, Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On.
Of course.
Of course,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's impressive. Like, I love that you love that song, but it's the freaking hardest song too.
I know.
Like,
But then if you hit like a few notes, people are like, oh, you know, you don't have to get it perfect because it is so hard. You just gotta like, hit
That's
a few
true.
notes
That's a good
or,
way
like-
to put it.
Or like hit like when it drops, like just like go for it.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm seeing it in my head now. I almost started singing it into this, and that would have been very bad.
leave it to
That's
spoon.
so
Leave
funny.
it to spoon, Maxie. Don't try.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God. That is
Oh,
a good
that is-
one. And it gets
That's-
people going too. Like everyone gets in the song. Obviously I would get in, not in front of a mic. But yeah, I agree. That's a great one. Man.
Yeah, we had a little karaoke action in Truro a couple weekends ago, and I was quite impressed. Actually, there's some people in the
Okay.
PWHPA that got some pipes on them. I'm not gonna
We need, like,
don't
a
expose anybody.
I'm trying to
PWHPA
remember.
karaoke off.
Oh,
my!
like riff off, you know, bringing the
PWHPA idol.
pitch perfect style. We should do it.
You are.
Cut.
I feel like with the Toronto Furies before, we used to try to do like riff offs on the bus.
Okay,
Like
wait.
they're so hard. 'cause
Keep
you gotta,
on.
like,
I'm listening.
blend.
Keep going, Spoon. You can just drop this and then not like who and what songs were you guys kind of like?
Oh my
going
gosh! Well,
after?
like we'd have to come up with like a theme.
Everyone?
So like,
Okay.
if it was like shots, right? Then you have to like sing all the songs with shots, and you got to like try to keep going, and whoever doesn't loses.
Hit me with your best shot. You go like that,
Yeah.
right?
And then
Oh.
shot, everybody.
I like
That was the
it.
only first one that came to my head.
Shot to the heart and you're to
Whoa.
Yeah, that was good.
But you have to keep going with like the last word that the person
Yeah.
says, right? Like that's tough, Spooner.
Well,
like,
in the actual Pitch Perfect, yes.
Yeah,
but I
okay,
feel
we
like
kinda
the
just
hockey
made it
player
like-
version, we can
Okay,
dumb
okay,
it down
fair.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
my God.
Okay, so you go from karaoke in Pyeongchang and then to Beijing, where you have no fans, no family.
Yeah.
You're wearing masks during the game, which I don't think we overstated this enough, is so incredibly impressive. You know, especially when half the population is complaining about wearing a mask at the grocery store. But I digress. What was, the last Olympics like? Just kind of walk us through like during COVID and everything that you guys went through, all the obstacles in terms of training and getting together and not being able to get on the ice. Like that last Olympics was sure a test for everybody.
It was a test, but it was so much fun.
hey, I love it. We told you she was a happy camper. Here it is.
The lead up to the Olympics, even the lead up to centralization was tougher because of like the lockdown and in Toronto. And,
Right.
until we got like an exception to be able to like skate and train, it was tough, like just doing it from home and then having to try to find ice. And
Yeah.
I mean, at that point we were also wearing masks on the ice. So like we were kind of used to it already, like even going into centralization. Like centralization was kind of the first time where we were in like more of a bubble where we didn't have to wear like a mask
Yeah.
all the time. And we did for world championships and everything, but then we kind of got to not and then had to again.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of like said like it was like our superpower eventually with our team, that like we could just like deal with anything that came at us because like we just didn't really care. Like we didn't let it affect us. We just did it and had fun with it. And so kind of when like people always ask about like, when that game got delayed in Russia or against Russia and, like you had a warm up and then like, were you like cooling down. Like, what did you do in like that hour and a half, whatever it was? Like, we were legit having a dance party in the locker room. like Ashton Bell was
keeping
teaching
it
us
loose,
to do, like,
keeping it
the
light,
hoedown, like in there. Like, we were like country dancing in there. So it was like, we were just like, okay, well, whenever they tell us like if we're going to play or not, whatever, like we were just having fun.
That is so perfect.
awesome.
Instead of stressing and being in your head or anything like that. Like that is key. And because everything happens. Like I remember it was after warm up, right? Correct?
So we warmed up and then came off. And then,
because even during warm up, I'm pretty sure Clarky got pulled like aside too. And then they were like, okay, some things that, like people were just like, even us watching from afar we're like, okay, what's happening? What are they doing? What like trying to be like in your guys, but I love that you were dancing and having a blast. Well, we're just like, oh my God, they must be freaking out right now.
Yeah. They all have COVID. Nobody can play is what like is happening at home. We're just like, what is going on? Meanwhile, you guys are just having a little shimmy shake in the dressing room. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. It was a blast.
That's awesome. And then, so you come back to the PWHPA. I want to talk about some of the list really of cool things that you've done. This is like, okay, I think I need to say this. Like Spoons has like kind of carved out, I would say, and Tessa, because like before you guys started going and doing these really fun, cool things, at least when I was in the program, it felt very much like you are like almost like, I don't want to say a soldier because that's obviously a bad comparison, but like it was so regimented and you had to be so focused and so hockey and always training and always your diet and everything. And it was just like so linear towards hockey. And then like Tessa did Battle of the Blades, you did Battle of the Blades, you and Mick did the Amazing Race. And like it starts to like kind of grow a little bit more wholesome like image of who we are as athletes and people, not just like hockey players. But it was when you were doing these things like the Amazing Race, Battle of Blades, more recently, obviously Family Feud with the girls, like this is like a very new space, I feel, for women's hockey players. Would you agree with that?
I think like I think Tessa kind of started it all and kind of opened up those doors to like have those opportunities. But I mean, every opportunity I've got, I've loved it. And I think it is important for like our fans and to grow our game, for people to be able to get to know us and get to know our personalities. And I mean, when you're on the ice, you can't tell. Like, yeah, sure, I'm smiling behind my cage, but no one, not like you're saying anything, or, you know, like no one knows if that's just like my intense face or something, you know? So, you know, like at least like they're getting to like know the personality of us and can kind of, you know, then want to follow us and want to know, you know, when we're playing, where we're playing. So I think it is really important to like kind of just put ourselves out there and kind of have those opportunities for people to follow us and to learn about us.
And I think what Knoxy is saying too is you kicked this door open for the others that came after you, right? Or that are currently on the team. And we saw Nursey on the,
RuPaul's Drag Race.
RuPaul. There you go. I had drag and Ru all mixed up right there. But like we see people on the shows and it's accepted. It was super rigid and tough to step away from it, because then, you know, there's the whole concept of, are you focused enough to be, you know, are you focusing on your health, your training, your whatever? But now it's like, yes, we are. And on top of it, we're also showing who we are and what else we can do and how we can, you know, influence people in the right, like thinking and the right mindsets at times too. And I don't know, I think that, you know, if it wasn't for you, Spoon or Tessa or anyone, I don't think we would have gone in that direction really as quickly as we have basically in women's hockey right now. And, you know, I think there's obviously like other sports that have done more and everything, but hockey is such an old sport and an old ways of doing things. And, you know, you're bringing again the smile, the happiness, sometimes. The sparkling, and the bubbly aspect to it, as well as being a stud hockey player on the ice. You know, it's like destroying this whole like you need to focus to be successful. Well, you need to focus and balance and bring a little bit of your own self through you know, your teams and your national level of like competitiveness. So. You know, I just want to give you a little shout out here because you actually started that. So I don't know. I don't
know if I started it, but no, I think it has come a long way.
You're part of I mean, I'm sure there was other people that tried or did like funny stuff and things like that. I'm sure Cassie did some stuff back then and we didn't get to see it, right? Maybe the visibility is more now here with social media and everything. And we can see it or discover you guys a bit better, nowadays. But I think I like that. I think our fans like that. I think the player pool absolutely loves and supports that as well too. So, keep being you.
And I am curious. Sorry, go ahead, Spoons.
I was just going to say, I think it's making like teams better because people now are like able to be themselves and to have personalities. And, like I think about back in the day when maybe we were all like kind of nervous and just like all like, it's like if you have a team of like 23 Natalie Spooners and say I was all really serious, like it'd be a pretty boring team, but like you get all these crazy, unique people in a room that all are good at different things. And I think that that's like the beauty of it. So like we need to embrace that. And I think we have been embracing that a lot more, like kind of like the last like 5, 6, 7 years.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny you mentioned teammates because I was going to go down the Amazing Race route, and you and Mickelson obviously competed in was it second season of Amazing Race Canada?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I'm curious, like how your friendship, like pre, during, and then post, like you guys, like, and we love Mick, but you guys are quite different. I think that's safe to say. So talk us through some of the challenges, changes, like what happened in the show and like how you guys tackled the crazy challenges of the Amazing Race. Yeah.
Obviously I know people who know Mick, like she's like intense competitor and she's like scary sometimes when she's on the ice. But obviously the 2014 Olympics, we were centralized. So I got to know her through that. And then it was kind of like one day we got like an email that was like, I think it was more so for like alumni because they wanted to like apply to be on the race. But I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. So then like we were just cooling down and I was like, hey, like, have you ever thought about like wanting to go on the Amazing Race or anything? And she was like, oh, sure. Like, I don't know. Yeah. So we like submitted a video, like we made a video on one of our days off and submitted it. And you have to go like through all this like interview process and eventually like an in-person interview. And we went through the whole thing and then you just don't hear back. Like we went to the Olympics and eventually it was like a week after the Olympics, we heard back that we were going to be on the race. So we were kind of like, oh boy, like what did we get ourselves into?
Yeah.
Like what is going to happen? And then we were like, okay, we just like cannot get kicked off first.
Set the bar real high.
Yeah, that was our bar because we were like, we have no clue what is going on, but let's just go and do the best we can. But yeah, no, like we ended up having so much fun. Like obviously she is intense, but I think it made us like such a good team in the sense that like she could be like just so focused and like just get things done when we needed them to get done. And she was like the driver and I was really good at navigating. So it all like worked out in that sense. Like if there was like the ones where it was more just like, we decided that I was going to do the more physical challenges and she was going to do like the more concentrate-y ones because like she also had a broken hand.
That's true.
And then, so yeah, we kind of just like split it up. Like I think we only had like 2 arguments on the whole show. One of them everyone got to see because it was during the dancing. And I was like, let's just get in there. Like, let's just go and try it and like do it. And she was like, no, I just need to sit back and keep watching it. And I was like, I'm never going to learn this if I'm just sitting here like watching this. But then she's like, I'm only going to learn if I'm sitting here watching it. So I'm like, so we really realized fast that we like learned things totally different ways.
Yeah.
During that challenge and kind of like butted heads over it because we were both like, well, we needed what we needed to like learn it, but it wasn't going to work out. And then the other time was, I think we were in Normandy, France, and like we had been in a bunk bed the night before, and I was like, okay, I'll sleep on the bunk bed. The next time I get like first choice of bed, and there was one big bed and one like pull-out couch, and so I was like, oh, it's my turn to have the big bed, and then she was like, wanted the big bed too, and I was like, you can sleep in the big bed with me, but then she's like, oh, I want my own bed, so we had a little stump, but then in the morning we laughed about it because we were just up for like 36 hours straight and so tired and just wanted like sleep. So those were like the gist of our 2 fights. But no, we got like so much closer because you have to like you just hang out the whole time and we found out we got along really well and we really balanced each other out, which is really cool.
really impressive too, after having just centralized together, then gone to the Olympics, and then, dealing with the ups and downs of the Olympics that year, especially. And now, let's just spend some more time together and take on this incredibly challenging journey. Like, it's very impressive actually that you guys only had those two little like disagreements, we'll call them, or like scuffs or whatever you want to say, because that's a lot of time with your teammate. It's just a testament to obviously how well you guys are working together. So that's amazing. I was curious too, between the amazing race and the learning curve of the Battle of the Blades, which, like, maybe talk us through, not which was harder, but just talk us through the differences between the two, because I'm sure they both came with their own challenges.
Yeah. Okay. Difference. Okay. Like, amazing race was really fun, and also really fun. I mean, they were both really fun. Okay. It's so hard to say because they were both really different. Like, amazing race, you went and ran the race, and then like you could not talk about it for months. Yeah. And it was like a secret. But then you got to watch it all back with like your friends and family, and we had like viewing parties, and like the other teams came, and you became like really close with the other teams because you had all these viewing parties. Whereas like Battle of the Blades, it was, I want to say like 6 weeks long, whatever it was, or even 2 months long, but it was all like within that 2 months. So like it was live intense filming. Super intense. Like, you got to know all the other teams because you hung out with them all the time, but like there was no, like, it was very like stressful in a sense too, because you're like, I have this one performance, and like if I mess up, like it's like the whole performance is done. Like, I've thrown everything off, and there's no like coming back. It was just like, that's it. And there's no like watching it again back or anything like that. Like, later on, it's just, that was it. So definitely really different, but I mean, both equally fun. Like, they were both like such cool experiences. And like, I even look back to like Battle of the Blades now, and I'm like, I don't know how I did that. Like,
okay, I was just going to ask you, this is my lead up question. So you say like 6 weeks or like 2 months, let's say, of like, we see you perform and everything. How long before did you start skating with the white skates? Like, let's talk about this, because
figure skates.
The figure skates, yes. Like, I would toe pick the whole time, which is like what we see at the beginning, obviously with all of the players. But I just like, did you have a couple weeks to practice over the summer?
3 weeks before we got to get
like kind of used to
it. Yeah.
Wow.
It was like 2 or 3 weeks before our first performance. So the first performance, like, we start off like just pretty like easy things, and then like you try to kind of like build every week until the finals. But like when I first got on the show, I remember going to like, it was like their like launch of like some of the people that were going to be on the show. So like Sheldon Kennedy was there. And one of the figure skaters, Violetta, was there, and I was wearing heels, and she's like 5 feet tall, and she's like this little Russian figure skater who's like so amazing. And I was like, "Oh, hi, Violetta! Like, I'm going to be on the show." And she just like looks up at me and like puts her hand on her head and goes, "Oh." And I was like, oh my God. Like, I'm like 2 whole feet taller than her almost right now because I have heels on. Like, what did I get myself into? Like, am I just going to be doing like jazz hands down the ice? Like, I was like, maybe I would have been better paired up like with a female, because then I could have like at least like lifted her up or something.
But you know what? You had the first lift.
You did the lift.
You had the first lift.
Eventually I figured it out. The first time like he went to lift me, I was just like a soggy potato. Like, I just like flopped. And then he was like, you need to be like a cardboard, like just like be a brick, like just flex everything. So I was like, okay. Yeah.
Oh my God. Then you lift him up. So I think that was the coolest part too. I'm like, see?
Yeah, I did drop him a few times in practice, but
okay, this is the behind the scene we are looking to get here. Poor guy. Wait, no real full on. I dropped you, and
I mean, I'd like one time I legit like almost like pile drove him like into the ice like on his head. So
the Spooner suplex just boom.
Like I tried to like kind of like catch him under me, but yeah, I don't know. He popped back up and was okay. I think he probably was in a little bit of pain, but
what a good sport. What about you?
Yeah,
any injuries on the show?
Well, I was just like bruised from like all down my arms, all down my knees, like just from toe picking, and then also like playing hockey at the same time. Like you'd be like,
I was gonna say,
like, what is this bruise from? Like, I don't even know anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you were mixing the Furies and the Blades, right? Like it was during the season too, right? Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
I
forgot
practice at
about
night
that.
and then figure skate all day and go hockey practice at night.
And okay, so yeah, that was one thing because I spoke with Kessel a little bit too about that. She actually came to Montreal, and that's why they were practicing here when she went on the Battle of the Blades. And it's like 6 hours a day, or if not like more, right? Like nonstop.
Yeah.
Knoxy, nonstop.
Yeah, you do like off ice first. You like practice all your like lifts and like movements off the ice first too. So it's like even more, and then you go on ice for like 4 hours and like run through everything. So like I went to like Daryl Belfry's camp in Florida, and like my partner just came with me to Florida so that like I could go to like the hockey camp during the day, and then like in the mornings and afterwards figure skate.
Oh my gosh. See, because I had this like really lofty dream that I would be the first goalie to participate in Battle of the Blades. And now that you say that, I just don't know if it's in the cards. That's a lot.
I think you could do it for
That's
sure.
a lot of time.
You have like the flexibility. Like,
maybe we could do something different.
Maybe past tense had the flexibility. Now I've got the flexibility of a
You could get it
popsicle stick. But
Okay.
but I did want to say a special thank you to Spoons, because some people may know this. I think I tweeted about it at the time, but my grandma, who was living with Alzheimer's at the time, used to be a figure skating coach up in Sudbury. And we were watching Battle of the Blades, and I was saying, like, Grandma, like, I know her. Like, that's Natalie. Like, I played hockey with her. I play hockey against her. And she was just like, oh, this is fantastic. And of course, with the disease, you know, your time continuum is a little bit off. So she's like, oh, I used to coach her and I used to coach her. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like it's all good. Like you just kind of play along. But I reached out to Spoons and told her how much joy seeing her skate brought my grandma. And Spoons, being the good egg that she was, gave her a couple tickets. So in some of my grandma's, you know, later years, and she passed this summer, but it was a very fond memory. I have a great picture of her with her Battle of the Blades ticket. So wanted to slide that in and thank you again for that, Spoons.
I just got goosebumps a little. She's just that.
Yeah, it was amazing. I'll see if I can find a picture for the podcast, because very, very special moment for me to see her there. But speaking of, not that it's a charity, but Spooner, obviously, giving your time very graciously to a lot of organizations, and giving them visibility, giving them that representation. So why don't you talk us through, Grindstone, Jumpstart, some of the programs that you work with, and why it's important to you to continue to give back?
Yeah, I mean, I think first of all, like I just think about everything that sport has given me in my life, and obviously these opportunities we talked about, all the friends I've got to meet, the places I've got to go, and then getting to play the sport I love. So there's definitely lots of charities I'd love to work with, and Battle of the Blades, I got to skate for Fast and Female. I've got to do a lot of work with Grindstone to get young girls into hockey who can't afford it, and also working with Jumpstart and just supporting those youth that want to play sports and can't. And I mean, Canadian Tire has amazing other programs, the Keep Her in Play program to get, more girls playing sports and to keep girls in sports. And I think especially through the pandemic, it was really tough, really tough on girls sports, and a lot of girls dropping out. So I think now more than ever, it's important that we support those organizations that are going to help, and make sure that, whatever it is that we can do, to give those opportunities for sure is so important, because I mean, we've been so lucky at what sport has given us. So I think it's like the littlest things. I feel like sometimes it's like it's not enough, but it's the littlest things that we can try to do to help.
Yeah, for sure. And I think you're doing it really well by like even going to camps or doing camps and doing these appearances with those organizations, but even just through talking via social media and talking here on podcasts, or as much as you can on any other platforms you go to, you always do it. And it's something that we all need to do better probably, or do more of, right? So, I thank you for all of, the young girls that probably benefit out of all those organizations too, Spoons. And I think all players should have we all kind of help. And I'm sure other players on the national levels do have charitable organization that they work with. But the more we talk about it, the better it gets in the end. I love that kind of work. So
and
I
so
hope it fulfills.
Yeah. So many young girls, not just young girls, but, adults, boys, girls, so many people just look up to you, and you have a great reach on your social platform.
Yeah.
And because so many look up to you, little change in tempo here from your charitable organizations, but we want to know how you've like developed this, I'm going to say aura about like your game day fits. And like, even when you do some, you do some commentary or you're in different interviews and stuff like that, I feel like the Natalie Spooner wardrobe is like a different class than the average female hockey player. So we want to know first what inspires some of your outfits. And second, if there's perhaps a recent favorite piece that you'd like to share with our audience.
Okay, so what inspires my outfits? To be honest, I don't know if I have like inspiration other than like finding like a really cool piece that like I want to work around or something like that. Like, and you know what? I think my like love for fashion started a long time ago, but I maybe wasn't that good at it. Like, I don't know, like I think back to like 22s, like we were in Germany and we were staying in this like bunker and they made us like do these performances and my team did ABBA. And I had this like one dress shirt that I was like, this is so ABBA, I'm going to wear this. And I guess like the whole time people were making fun of me because I was wearing it backwards. And I just thought that was the way it was supposed to be worn.
It's called fashion. You made it.
Yeah.
You made it fashion. It's okay.
Just, setting the trend there with backwards shirts. But no, like I think I just love like having unique pieces and something that's kind of like a statement. Obviously being pregnant, like I'm so missing my wardrobe. I actually made a TikTok the other day that was like that one, like, I'm coming back for you, baby. I'm coming back. Cause I'm like, oh my God, my clothes, like I get to wear them again soon. So yeah, I've definitely missed like wearing, I've literally been living in like my Adidas track pants and hoodie. So I will be really excited to wear regular clothes again. But I did buy one piece while I've been pregnant. Like, I don't even know if this is a good thing to do because like you just gotta hope it's gonna fit eventually, but that I can like wear afterwards. And I don't know if it might be too much for like a game day fit, but like for something, it's gotta, I'll wear it for
Spoons,
something.
there's nothing that's too much for a game day fit for you. You can pull anything off.
I mean, it has the right color scheme. I got a red jumpsuit.
Okay.
Which I have another red jumpsuit, but this one is like full sequin.
Okay. We gotta see it.
I think it's, yeah, let's go.
Hold on. Oh. Okay, I gotta take it out of the bag. Hold on.
Oh.
This is even better.
I can tell you exactly how many clothes I keep in a bag. It was my wedding outfit. Oh.
Okay. This is
okay.
Jumpsuit. It's hard to see on this, and it comes with this lovely belt to like cinch me in.
I love it.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like it's just kind of like a nice big red disco ball. And
a nice big
sure
red
like
disco ball. Okay. You know what?
Like,
you should though. I think you should wear it for a game day one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you should
like
give
maybe
it.
like the finals of something like this.
Ooh.
Like, a big game. Is it like too? Or is it too flashy for a big game? It's got to be like
no, because you know what? When we were talking, like if I had to, like I don't even know everything you own in terms of clothes or everything, but it's to me, it's got shininess to it. It's like. It's out there in terms of colors. It's spoons. It's like, you know what I mean? It can be blue. It can be red. It can be pink. It can it's.
I do like color.
See, I think it's.
Yeah, your whole brand. Yeah. I love it. I would actually love to see Kax in that.
Oh boy. Oh. Yeah, it would more so look like, we were talking about Battle of the Blades and I'm thinking of the movie right now, but I would probably look more like Will Ferrell and what's his face?
Glory.
Blades of Glory. See, that would be more my look in that thing.
Could totally be in there if it had some flames on there.
I would put this on. This is call me Will Ferrell there. Yeah, Blades of Glory. This is what I would look like. I probably have the flow right now to be just like him too right now. No, I'm okay, Spoons. You know what? You rock that piece, and it's
Never gonna
yours.
look at my jumpsuit the same again now.
No, but it's like if I was wearing them, not when you wear it. It's like it's different here. Let's clarify that. Oh boy!
Oh my god! And, okay, so speaking of outfits, I do want to know because you're, I guess an ambassador or sponsored by Riker, Can-Am Riker, your motorcycle. So is there do you have a specific section for like biker gear? Because I feel like this is a side that we need to see.
Like, is there leather, black type
tassels,
darker tassel? Yeah.
No, like I haven't got like so into like the whole biker gear yet.
Okay.
It takes time.
I mostly just have protective gear.
Well, that's also important.
Yeah,
that is important. Safety first.
Like has like padding in there. And then I normally just go with like a pair of jeans and a nice pair of boots. I do have some like almost like a leopard boot that I like to wear sometimes.
Leopard. See, that is Spoons.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
A biker style would be black or brown, maybe boots like that. But leopard, I like that. You know what?
Yeah.
You bring the Spooner look into the bikers.
Yeah, maybe I need to get like a more colorful biker outfit.
Yeah,
there you go.
But
I would picture a pink helmet
maybe
somehow.
next summer.
Yeah, stay away from the sequence though. That can be quite distracting on the road.
Oh my gosh! Although maybe people will see me then like better and just like
True. Hey, it's Spooner. They would know too. They would know. You know,
High vis
But my Riker
sequence.
is gold and black, so it is pretty cool.
Oh, that's
There you go.
badass.
See, that's badass.
Does Adam have one also?
No, I need to get him to go get his license so he can.
that's right.
He can
That's
drive
right.
one. Yeah,
You
I
guys
offered
should
for
have
him
like
to go in the back of mine, but he hasn't agreed to yet.
Maybe a
doesn't
little
want to?
side cart. Can you get a side
I
cart
have
on
a
a
little
Riker?
back one. I have a little back seat.
Oh, okay,
you could sit
perfect.
Behind, but
See, you could do that.
Yeah.
I
Come
think he
on,
should.
Adam.
I think we should convince him. One ride. What is one?
He's manly
Yeah.
enough to
Make sure
ride
you
on
take
the
pictures,
back.
Spoons.
Yeah.
yeah. I also need to get him a helmet first too. So maybe
Well,
that's
that's-
been one of the, yeah.
That's probably the first step out there. And then maybe you guys get like a biker club vest, you know? The Spooners.
And soon, baby Spoons will be here, so you're going to need a little baby outfit.
Yeah, you need a little basket in the front. I think that's illegal, but
Like Toto.
Oh my God. I love it.
God.
or just like strap a car seat behind me.
I think that's
Backwards
legal.
facing, though. Backwards facing, because, you got to be safe. Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. And like I mentioned, Adam, obviously, Spoon's your partner. You guys, we've said it, but no surprise to anybody. You guys are expecting a child very, very soon. How are you guys feeling about being parents?
Good. Like there's obviously so many unknowns, like even like with labor and everything is like unknown. So we just kind of are going with the flow, but no, we're like so excited. Like you really just want to know what he's going to look like. Like what is he going to look like? Me? Is he going to look like Adam? Like there's just so many like things you just don't know because he's inside your belly. Right. But no, it's been like a really, really cool so far. Just like he's moving lots, kicking lots. So, I think it's starting to feel more real for Adam. Cause like for a while it was just like nothing kind of changed for him. Whereas now it's like getting more real. But yeah, no, we're just super excited to meet the little guy.
A question on that too. Talking about closets and clothes and everything. Have you been nonstop shopping for that little one and just has like every single piece till he's like 6 years old, basically?
Yeah, he has a lot of clothes. 18 months. I wouldn't say 18 months. He's got like a year and a half worth. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good. No, I had a friend, Emmanuel Blais, just had a baby too, and they have clothes for like she just bought a pair for a 4 years old, like pair of shoes for a 4 years old toddler.
I do have shoes that are bigger.
Her daughter is not even a month old.
And so cute. Yeah,
but it's so cute. You just like buy it and you think, oh, and then you realize how much. Yeah, there's a difference of years, basically.
His whole leg fits in that shoe right now.
Pretty much.
I also bought like way too much newborn stuff, I think, because I had an ultrasound 2 weeks ago and the baby was already 7.2 pounds. So I'm like, baby's probably going to be over 9 pounds and like newborn is up to 9 pounds. So I'm like, is he even going to wear any of this stuff? Like,
Yeah.
sitting there.
I was going to say, because Rich's sister just had a baby and like, I feel like the sizes like have not kept up with the times. Like an 18-month-old baby is typically not in 18-month-old clothing. Like I would say of my friends who have babies, like this is a very rare thing. Like normally they're outgrowing things like 6 months in advance. And people are like, oh, my 10-month-old baby's in 2-year-old clothes. Like, well, are the clothes flawed or is your baby massive? Like,
I think it's a very large friends.
I think it's a mix of both though, because sometimes they do like get in this world and they're like barely 6 pounds or whatever. So they do need the newborns a little bit longer, or they don't grow. Like my nephew is 5 years old and I bet you he still fits in like the 3-4, if not like lower than that at times too. And his brother is like 3 and fits in the 5-6. So you know what I mean? Like there's like different size, different shape, I'd say that gets put in there. Sometimes they don't necessarily think of like how wide they get, but how they potentially get, you know?
True. Yeah. I'm sure there's some market research that goes into these things. I shouldn't make sweeping generalizations like that. Oh my gosh. So Spoons, we're kind of getting close to wrapping up here, but we're in Pittsburgh this weekend. If you're listening to this on Friday, we're there right now. And the PWHPA was there last year. We did like a kind of a rivalry rematch after the Olympics, where we made rosters of Canada, USA. I think less the NCAA girls, right? We didn't send NCAA girls because they were back at school. So tell us about your experience in Pittsburgh. Just kind of the atmosphere, the experience you got with the Penguins, and maybe a little bit about the outfits that you guys wore there as well.
Yeah. The experience was awesome. Just to get to play in a big rink like that and to have the fans all there. All the staff was so nice to us and so welcoming.
Your dog just rip ass.
No, he's having like a...
Did you hear?
A backwards
was there noise?
No, he's breathing.
I didn't hear that.
Are you okay? No, he's breathing. He's having like a backwards like... They get that. You're just snoring that thing. I can't believe you just called it like that. No, it's not.
I was hoping it was a dog at least and not you.
Oh no, it's do you see him? That's a griffin. Yeah. Anyways, he's having problem breathing. But we should go back to Pittsburgh.
Sorry.
And how it was out there.
Pittsburgh was great. We got to do some clinics with like young girls too, which was really cool. And then obviously the game was amazing. The atmosphere. We just had a lot of fun. Like we wore Canadian tuxedos to the game. It was very cold. I remember still, it was really cold actually walking to the game in the snow, but we wore our Canadian tuxedos. We rocked them. Had a blast. We got to like meet Sidney Crosby and a bunch of the guys.
That's right.
Go in the locker room, get a tour. I got a Crosby jersey now framed in my basement. So
come on.
Cool.
Wait, from Sid himself?
Yeah.
Oh my.
I traded him a Canada jersey. He said he wanted one signed by the girl, so I was like, I'll trade you.
That is so wait. So he has your jersey? This is a cool, like, a fun fact here. So,
like, I don't think that it actually has my name on it. I think I just got like a generic one that I was getting all the girls to sign.
Yeah.
And then they were out on the table, and he came over and was like, "Hey, is there any way?" And I was like, "Well, they're mine. I could trade you."
That's so cool.
I love that. So
yeah,
a game worn jersey from Sidney Crosby.
Well,
basically.
I don't think it's game worn. I don't.
Oh, you never know. Just go with it.
Okay,
just go with it.
Sure. Yeah, like, could you please trade me? And I need yours to be game worn, even though mine is just from the store, no name on it.
He said yes.
Oh,
I love
that's
that.
Awesome. Well, we're so excited to be back in Pittsburgh. Like you said, I unfortunately wasn't there last year. I'll be there this weekend, doing a little color again. So maybe I'll slide my chirps in for Kax when we see those games happen. But we're so excited. The PWHPA is so excited to be back in Pittsburgh this weekend, the 25th to 27th, I believe. Is that Sunday? 27th? Yeah.
25th, 26th, 27th.
UPMC Lemieux Sports Complex. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area, you can come check it out, or you can watch it on cbcsports.ca, which is I'm sure, Spoons, where you're going to be taking the games in from this weekend.
I've been watching them all on there, cheering loud since I can't travel no more.
Oh, we love that.
Soon enough.
Soon enough. And the PWHPA is so excited for, when you guys do end up having your baby, adding to the PWHPA family. We're so excited for you and Adam. Want to thank you again for coming on here today, Spins. It's been way too much fun, and I feel like this episode could have been easily 2 hours.
Thanks so much for having me on. This was a blast.
So you can catch the PWHPA Secret Dream Gap Tour this weekend in Pittsburgh or on cbcsports.ca. All your information and shop before Christmas at pwhpa.com. Then December 9th to 11th, Canadian Tire is putting on the PWHPA All-Star Weekend. Same time, same place. You can find it. Check out the website for more. And that's it for us. Spoons, again, thank you so much. This is so much fun, and wish you guys a healthy, safe pregnancy and delivery, and we can't wait to meet the little guy.
All the best.
Thanks so much.
The Knoxy and Kax Show on SDPN, produced in partnership with the PWHPA and presented by Sports Interaction, Canada's sportsbook. Follow Knoxy and Kax on Twitter at 27Knoxy and at Karell Emard. The views expressed are those of the individuals and are not necessarily those of the PWHPA. Check out sdpn.ca for more Knoxy and Kax and the rest of the SDPN crew.
She scores!